Hello again. We're back today with another trick that might save some money for us. So, since I always want to do things by myself and I'm a do-it-yourself DIY kind of guy, and I might also go on people's nerve sometimes with that because I also always want to make things for myself. So, I have find a really nice GitHub page, GitHub repo actually, that helps you creating your own AirPlay server. So if you have a Raspberry Pi or if you have just a Linux and you want to mirror your phone, your iPhone or your iPad, or even your Mac on a different Linux-based um, system, this is gonna help you. Depending on the amount of hardware you have, it brings some limitation. It's for sure, it's not as good as Apple's product because, well, they engineer it and they have like shit tons of money to work for it, work on it. Um, but we don't as a open software user. So we are accepting our limitation here. That's first and foremost. Um, so I found this one called UXPlay. It's from FDH2 GitHub account. They did publish it on so many distributions, so you can get it by PKG for FreeBSD, Linux distros or Arch-based ones with DNF, or Debian-based or like Ubuntu as mine with just the apt installed. So it's pretty easy to install just by one command, and you don't need to go through a whole bash script or find a dependency or stuff. Although there is a small dependency, I'll let you know. I needed to install it for it to work better. And it's again, it totally depends on your system. You might already have the dependency, or you might not need it, and you might have better hardware so you could run things smoother. Anyway, we are gonna give it a try. First and foremost, I want to run it on my Raspberry Pi because the Raspberry Pi is really small and a cheap um, device. You can have it and you can connect it to your TV via HDMI, and it's just easy to run codes on. And so I have my Raspberry Pi terminal over here, and I have SSH'd into it. I have written also a small bash script. It's just 2 line, not big a deal. I just wanted to show that to you guys. So if I go to my desktop and search for actually not AirPlay but install UXPlay. Yeah. So there are just 3 dependency I want to install. It's the GStreamer plugins, good, bad, and ugly. They're really funny and they're working together. So you have to install 3 of them. And then we're gonna install UXPlay. And why do we need to install that? Because this is like a pipeline-based software. This helps us in where do we sync our videos and how do we handle this media streams that we are getting. So one of the ways is the GStream, which we will see further in the video. It's in the setting of the UXPlay, and we are going through that. But before that, I just wanted to have a quick Google search for the GStream and show you. So the GStream is a pipeline-based multimedia framework that links together a wide variety of media processing systems to complete complex workflow. And these three is just plugins, so it's not the whole GStream software. These are the only pipelines that we need to help us well, get to our points, right? So I'm gonna run this bash script for the first time and hopefully not encounter any problem. Otherwise, I'm gonna see what to do. So since both have sudo, I'm not gonna call it, and I'm a root user, so I'm just gonna desktop install. All right, those are already installed, but I have removed my UXPlay to install it again and go through it. So it's almost done. And again, this is on Raspberry Pi. So if you install it on your Linux, and we can see further here in this video, you'll have different options, and interestingly less options. Because for Raspberry Pi, it's a limited hardware, and you need to have a workaround and be careful of how much resources are you consuming for such thing. Video rendering generally is a high consuming process, so we cannot really expect amazing qualities from Raspberry Pi, for example. But for your own Linux, you can, because well, it's running a full HD or a 4K desktop, so it at least can give you some same qualities. And I'm just talking about a graphic integrated on like your CPU, and not a dedicated different graphic, because that one can gives you way more performance. Anyway, I should stop yapping and get to the point here. So then I type UXPlay -h. So I'll see a whole bunch of options here. Yeah, so you can define a name. You can I'm just going through the most important one. You can make it a full screen. You can use a legacy ports, the GStreamer I talked about. So the video decoder, the video converter, video sync, also as audio sync. And there's also a flag for a Raspberry Pi specifically here. And if I do just the same thing, if I go to the help page of UXPlay on my Ubuntu, you'll see that there's no such thing. So this only comes by installing it on your Ubuntu. Anyway, and a lot more. So you can dive deep. And it took me a lot of time to find a suitable configuration and setting. So I'm not going to run it here because this is just a terminal and it does not show me any rendered image. So as you may know from a previous video, I have installed a VNC so that I could remote access my Raspberry Pi and see well, rendered desktop, see a graphical user interface, right? So I'm just gonna run a new terminal and Tiger VNC. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna connect to it. Yes. Type in my password. All right, so I'm in the Raspberry Pi right now. And here I'm going to show you. So previously I have set alias AirPlay to run the UXPlay with the different flags that I need, but I found a better way to do so. So this one was running 30 FPS at max, but the problem was I was not defining an output. Okay, let me just jump through it. So this is the most tuned way for my Raspberry Pi I could find, and I have talked with ChatGPT back and forth and tried, went through a trial and error process. And since it was too many encoders, decoders actually, my bad, so many converters and so many video and audio syncs, I couldn't go through them all and read about each one and see how they work. So technically I just copy pasted the help page of like the UXPlay-H, the help page, to ChatGPT and give it my Raspberry Pi model, which is 400, B400 or 400, the ones with the embedded keyboard. Anyway, so I was like, we need to tune this. So there were a discussion back and forth, and this is what we got. So as you see, previously I have not, I didn't have any output resolution, and so it was by default it was full HD, it was 1080 to 1920, and Raspberry Pi just cannot handle it, and it was so laggy. This one is something between performance and quality. So I wouldn't say it's like the picture is crisp clear, but at least there's no lag. So I'm gonna run this, and it's called Best AirPlay, I call it. All right, so now the AirPlay server is running, and I can just try on my phone. I can open up a UXPlay. I'm connecting it. All right. So you can see, like, it's very good. It's very nice. Very, it's honestly good enough for a Raspberry Pi. I mean, if you try it yourself, you'll see. And it's not just iPhone. It also works with iPad, and I can show you in a second.
A few moments later. Approximately 10 hours later.
So I'm gonna try it on my iPad. An iPad has a bigger display. It might be even more resource consuming, but it also works here. So I'm connecting it.
"75 years later."
All right. So the problem was my VPN apparently. So as you can see, it works fine. Up and down. Yeah, it even works on iPad. So I've tried to play a full HD video on it. Quality's getting better. Yeah. So it has the least lag possible I could find yet. It's watchable. It's decent enough, I would say. But yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best, and it could have it could be optimized. And I can show you just now that if you run it on your own Linux and on your desktop, you see the quality and performance gets better a little bit because well, you have a better graphic card on your laptop comparing to Raspberry Pi. So yeah, that was it, mostly on the Raspberry Pi, and then we can close the VNC here, go to our, yes, we are on the console of our laptop. I'm gonna search for aliases because I remember I did have I did set a alias UXPlay. Oh my god. All right, UXPlay. There is none. All right. Well, because I typed XUplay. UXPlay. All right. All right. Before we run this, actually, I'm gonna show you something. So if you run UXPlay-H, you'll see that we have less options here on Ubuntu because, well, you don't need some workarounds that you need on Raspberry Pi. You don't need those Raspberry Pi flags and different desktop environment. It was the renderer and stuff like that. You have some more generic ones, and yeah, and we are going to try the one that I have found that works the best. So this one doesn't define the output, and I did set the FPS to be the maximum of 75, so the frame per second could go up to 75. And I also use the NH, and the NH just removed the @ host name at the end of the name of my AirPlay. That's all it does. So I'm just gonna run AirPlay here. It's running. All right, let's try screen mirroring. So now I have two here. You'll see in a second. Yes. So the other one was Raspberry Pi, and this one is I call it the AirPlay. And you'll see that it's considerably more robust, honestly. You can see like the frame rates, when the frame rates changes, you can see smooth transition and animation of whatever's happening here. So like the volume, you can see like every bit of changes, right? See? It's amazing.
See our desktop, our Raspberry Pi desktop.
And don't worry about the sound because my headphone is plugged in, so that's why there's no sound right now, but the sound works fine. And the quality right now is low on the iPad, so that's why you see it like this. And if I just change it to the higher picture quality here, and what should be changing
Raspberry Pi
soon.
Command.
And it's not changing. All right. Yeah, this one's better.
So this is what I want. ENC viewer.
Crisp, clear. So it's really depend on your hardware, right?
What I need to work.
You have a laptop.
I can just show you how to.
It's definitely gonna run better.
So
If you have
again,
Raspberry Pi, there are some limitation to it, but still, if there's a family gathering, you want to show a slideshow of your trips, and it's on your iPhone, and you want to have AirPlay to show them off, it's pretty enough and good for that, and you can have a really good high quality pictures. You can even do full HD output, and with a higher frame rate, sorry, not the higher frame rate, actually lower frame rate, but higher resolution, because still would be the same compromisation in here is my IP to all right. It would be the same compromisation, so you're increasing the resolution, but you're decreasing the frame rate, the amount of picture in the second that it's being sent, so it's almost the same amount of rendering process. If it's only for pictures, for example, you can have even maybe a 4K display, 4K output, but for example 10 frame rate, 10 FPS or something like that, so that you could have a better resolution of a photo displayed, but it's just going to take a while to swipe, you know. But that doesn't matter, right? If it depends on what you need and how you want to use it. For me, I just wanted to find a better, the best configuration between optimized quality and performance, and that's what I came up with. So it's not just HD, it's something between HD and full HD. It's like 900 to 1660, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it was on the Raspberry Pi. Let's go up. I have seen it somewhere. No. All right. Yes. 1600. Sorry. Yeah. So this is what I found the best. And again, with help of ChatGPT, I was trying different setting. We were talking back and forth, and we were saying this one was more laggy, this one was less laggy, this one didn't even open. I got this error, that error, and we found this at the end. Yeah. So that was brief explanation of how to run your own AirPlay server. I hope it helped. And please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. If it helps, if you ever used it, if you encounter any error, I'm sure any open software you might encounter error when you're trying it. So don't be afraid of using ChatGPT. Most of the answers are in internet, but it might be time consuming to find answers on Google, but ChatGPT, it's like a better Google. It also knows the context, and it will go and bring it to you with just one paragraph of explaining your problem. Anyway, I work with ChatGPT a lot. Anyway, so I hope it helps. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have tried it, or if you want me to go over another topic, another tips or tricks. Yeah, let me know what you think. Hope you have a good day. See you on the next one.